Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you new here, my name is Donna, and for those of you not new, thank you so much for coming and supporting my channel. I appreciate all of you so very much for being here. Today I am doing Sephora Purchases 2019. I'm sure that you saw that per the intro, and that is probably why you're here, correct? Probably. Excuse any background noise. My partner is outside doing work out in the yard and he has the music blaring, and I've asked him to turn it down, but this is what we've got. So if you hear music in the background, I do apologize. So today I am doing my Sephora purchases for 2019. Last month, well, as you're seeing this, it will probably be this time last month, I did my Sephora purchases for 2018. That was the first year I earned Rouge, and I went through all those purchases with everybody and talked about my thoughts on the purchases that I made through Sephora to earn Rouge that year. For those of you who don't know, Rouge status starts at $1,000 spend with Sephora. So to earn, you have Beauty Insider, which is just basic, right? Everybody can earn Beauty Insider. And then there's VIB, which is a $400 spend. And then there's Rouge, which is a $1,000 spend. And in 2018, I think I earned Rouge rather quickly. But up until that point, I had not been Rouge. And then in 2019, my thought process was, oh my God, I've got to maintain Rouge. I don't think I hit Rouge in 2019 until later in the game. It might have been like August, September, something like that. And this year, I haven't even gotten close. I don't even know if I've gotten close to BIB, if I'm being honest with you. Mostly because I haven't spent any money in the last 2 months. Like literally $35 on makeup in excess of my IPSY subscription box in April. And so far in May, as I'm filming this, it is May 23rd. So far in May, I haven't spent anything extra. I didn't buy anything extra for IPSY. I haven't spent money. So that's a good deal as to why I haven't even come close to Rouge at Sephora yet. I'm not close to Diamond at Ulta either, which is shocking because I was spending an awful lot more at Ulta. And for those of you who don't know, I am an Ulta girl. Even before working for Ulta, I did prefer to spend my money at Ulta. The point system is just so much better. How you earn free product is just so much nicer, and you don't have to earn a bunch of points just to get deluxe size samples. If you guys want me to go into that kind of video, I can, but honestly, if you look it up on YouTube, it's out there in a billion other videos on how different the two programs are. So like, I am an Ulta girl. I would spend my money at Ulta before I ever would at Sephora, and the only things that currently, still to this day, the only things I purchase at Sephora are things that I cannot get at Ulta. And with Ulta continuing to expand the products, the brands that they bring in, it's fewer and further between that there's actually a product that I want that I have to purchase at Sephora. The one that stands out in my mind the most is my Cinema Secrets, my brush cleaner. I clean my brushes every single day with this brush cleaner, and I can only get it at Sephora if I'm going to purchase it for points. So that will forever be the one item that I purchased from Sephora. I am going to scoot over a little bit because I will be putting pictures over here of the items that I talk about. So in 2018, I did earn Sephora Rouge. It was the first time I had earned Sephora Rouge, and I had purchased 34 products to earn that Sephora Rouge. And I will link that video down in the description box so that anybody who hasn't watched it could go back and look at it, or watch it first if that's what you want to do. In Sephora 2019, I only purchased 25 items and earned Sephora Rouge as well. I will tell you, my purchases at Sephora grew up in a way. Like I wasn't just out there spending money just to spend money, just to earn a position in Sephora's, you know, mind. I was out there purchasing items that I knew I wanted to try, the big box items that I couldn't get at Ulta, and I was always waiting for a sale for that to happen. I did spend a lot of money at Sephora, but I was always waiting for a coupon or a sale. And a lot of these purchases, I am a subscriber of My Points. I don't know if you guys know anything about it, but just for reading emails, you earn points. And those points can be cashed in for gift certificates. And every single time I earned enough points, I was purchasing with those points a $50 gift certificate to Sephora. I used that a lot last year in my purchases with Sephora. And this is also right around the time frame that I started deciding that I was kind of a shopaholic and had way too many things, way too many beauty items, and really needed to slow my roll and figure out how to manage what I had versus continue to bring new stuff in. I didn't purchase my first thing at Sephora in 2019 until February 26th. And what I bought were the Tatcha Mini Silk Canvas. This was a $22 primer. And I purchased it because the silk canvas, I think, had come out the year before and it was all the rage and people thought it was the most amazing thing on the planet. And I wanted to try it, but I wasn't going to pay $50 for it. So I did spend $22 on the mini, which I can't say is the most economical practices on the planet. I think that if you're going to purchase an item, definitely go for the full size when you can, because you're going to get more bang for your buck. That travel size guy was far too expensive for what I got. It was literally this big. But it did last me for a while. That primer is a primer that you don't have to use a whole lot of to get it to do what you want it to do on your skin. In addition to that, it was the first silicone primer or silicone feel primer that I had that I really actually loved. It smelt divine. I don't know if any of you have had Tatcha products in the past, but they have this wonderful scent to them. And I don't know if it's Tatcha specific or if it's to the ingredients that are in the product or if they're fragranced over, you know, what the products in the product are. But it smelled divine. I would purchase it just for the scent, honestly, and the really pretty packaging, because it really did have pretty packaging. But do I think it's worth $22 for the travel size? Absolutely not. Do I think it's worth $50 for the full size? No. And I only say that because you can get the e.l.f. putty primer for like $6 and it's pretty compensatory to the Tatcha Silk Canvas primer. I also purchased the Too Faced Peach Perfect foundation. I believe this was my very first foundation purchase. I think I had some tinted moisturizers before that and maybe a foundation that I absolutely hated. This Too Faced Peach Perfect foundation is still my holy grail foundation. I raved about this foundation for so long. And honestly, today I'm wearing it on my skin. I have it in my possession. It is still something that I absolutely love. It's a foundation that I know that I can swing back to if I'm having problems with the foundations that I'm wearing, because I love it. I love the finish of it on my skin. It's a comfort matte, so it's a matte foundation, but it feels really nice. And it's a medium buildable foundation that feels more like full coverage to me, if I'm being honest, because up to that point, I had never worn a full coverage foundation or anything more than a sheer. And so this felt like really super like erase your face kind of foundation. It is non-transferable. I can wipe my face. It doesn't come off on my hand, and I do love that. But that put a dirty position for other foundations to try and match when I did start looking at other foundations. This is top 5 on my list of foundation. I also purchased the Pat McGrath Sublime palette. I do have it sitting right here. This is a beautiful palette, you guys. I have used it a couple times. I think that it performs better as a weapon in my makeup room than it does as an eyeshadow palette, just because I don't pull for it. It was $125 of never pull for shadow. The green in this shadow is phenomenal. I love that green. The mattes, not amazing. I can't stand her mattes. I would say her special shadows are where it's at for Pat McGrath. You guys know that there are smaller palettes that have just the special shadows in them. Even the little tiny clear, which I also have, 5-pan special shadow palettes. I think that's where it's at. I think that's where you should spend your money. Her mattes are nothing to speak of. I honestly have a better time with ColourPop's mattes or BH Causemetics mattes or Makeup Revolution's mattes, and you all know how I feel about Makeup Revolution, than I had with her mattes. I didn't like them. Her satins and her special shades, amazing. They are so beautiful and pure perfection. Was it $125 worth of eyeshadow? No. This was a purchase that I should have never done. I bought a Cinema Secrets, $42, totally worth it. Continue to repurchase that. I bought a Fenty highlighter palette for $23 that was regular priced $46. Was it worth it? I think it was worth it because I love Fenty highlighters. But anybody looking through my makeup collection would tell you it wasn't worth it to me because I haven't used it. It still sits in my highlighter drawer. I have somewhere around 60 highlights, and that doesn't include the palettes. So with that being said, it's hard for me to rotate through. I need to start like some kind of like palette roulette like I do with my eyeshadow palettes, only using like highlighters or blushes. I'm not going to put you people through that, but that's what I need to do in order to get use out of all my highlighters because I haven't used it. But it is beautiful and it was only $23. I also bought the Natasha Nuna Bloom Cheek Palette, which was $55 and totally worth it. It does have 2 cream products in it, a cream blush and a cream highlight, and it also has 2 powder highlights in it. You guys, I would purchase that over and over again. It is beautiful. I do love it. It came in a BoxyCharm, and that is an amazing product to come in a BoxyCharm. Let's be honest. Natasha Denona is one of my top 5 brands, and I like almost everything that she puts out. Totally worth the $55. The next purchase I made was on April 19th, and it was the Milk Makeup Hydra Grip Primer Mini. It was just a $15 mini, and I purchased this actually while I was in GMC that year with my friend Grace. We went into the Sephora down there in Atlanta where we were, and I wanted to try. It was that and the Foundcealer, and I couldn't find the Foundcealer in my shade. They were out. It was rather new, so I didn't purchase that, but I did get the Hydra Grip primer, and I liked it a lot. What I love most about this primer is that it kind of gets tacky on your face, and that's unpopular opinion because that was something that a lot of people did not like about it. It's one of the only milk products that I have tried that hasn't given me some kind of reaction, which is weird. This one went on. It had kind of a cooling effect. It had aloe in it. It had good skincare properties. It got tacky on your face, and it made everything I put on top of it look really good. I haven't purchased it since though because I've got a ton of primers. So like my thought process was roll through these primers, buy some more of that. But then I just kept getting newer primers. So I haven't repurchased it, but I would. I just purchased the mini, and that was the only thing I purchased that. So then my next purchase was on May 4th. And on May 4th, I actually got a lot. I got the Cover FX Power Play Concealer. This is a concealer that I just used up. This lasted me forever. It was like 8 months. I actually didn't open it up until like October. So I can sit here and say it lasted me for like 8 months, but I didn't open it until October. I started using it in October and I emptied it in I think December. It was an awesome concealer. I love that concealer and I would repurchase it in a heartbeat. It's $21 for that concealer. Honestly, I haven't found one that I like better than that. And prior to even wearing foundations, I was wearing concealers. I bought another Cinema Secrets. I also bought the Natasha Denona Gold palette, which was $129. And yes, it was worth $129. I love Natasha Denona. I think her gold palette was remarkable. I think that it hadn't really been done. When I first looked at that palette, the reason it had been out for quite some time. When I first looked at that palette, I was like, bleh, browns. I don't want this palette. Also, I never wear gold, so why would I love this palette. It's more like greens and kind of lime and citrine looking than it is browns and golds, even though it looks like browns and golds and a few pops of green on like the websites. It's well worth $129. I think if there's one Natasha Denona palette that I have in my collection that I would say go out and get, it would be the gold palette. I bought a Charlotte Tilbury powder, the Airbrush Flawless Finishing Powder for $45. Hopefully you guys have been watching my channel long enough that you know exactly how I feel about this powder. I would repurchase this over and over and over again. The only thing that stops me currently is that I do have a lot of other powders that I want to filter through, but my God, that powder was perfection. It was so beautiful, and I never wore powder on my face really and liked it until I wore that powder. I also bought the Hourglass blush mini that I have and the Hourglass powder mini that I have. The powder mini is currently in my Project Pan because I just want to use it up. The reason why I want to use it up is because I want to purchase another Charlotte Tilbury powder. So I'm trying to use more of the powders in my collection. It's a beautiful powder. It is a beautiful powder. I do like it. I would probably purchase a full size of that as well. The blushes are beautiful, but I feel like they don't last very long on my face before I feel like I need to reapply color to my face. I don't know what it is, but I feel like my cheeks just eat color. My highlighter, my blush, my everything. You guys can see my bronzer, but I promise you, I put cheek color on, but you can never see it. It's just my bronzer that you can see. I look like I don't wear anything but bronzer. And the Hourglass blushes are no different. I didn't find them to be anything astronomically outstanding, which means it didn't strike me as something that I needed to have over and over and over again in my collection. I like my Tarte blushes better. And then I also got at that time the Bite Agave Lip Balm, which I really liked. But you guys, these things go bad so fast. I still have it in my collection, but it stinks so bad. I would say it does amazing things to my lips, makes it feel really good, but I did get it in the stick form. I would say if you're gonna get their Agave Lip product, get it in the mask, the stuff that comes in the tube, and not the stuff that is the stick, because the stick, it didn't last very long. Was it $14 worth of it? Maybe. Did I get $14 worth? No, because I didn't use it enough to. If it had been sitting on my nightstand, I might have used it enough to get $14 worth of wear out of it, but I didn't. My very next purchase was on June 11th. I bought 3 items, and 2 of them were Natasha Denona. So I did buy the Natasha Denona Bronze palette, which was the Bronze and Glow option of the Bloom palette, which was blush. Don't use it as much as I use the Bloom one, and the highlights in it are different, which I can appreciate, because sometimes those kind of palettes come with, this is our blush and our 3 highlights, and this is our bronzer and those same 3 highlights. It does appear to have different highlighters in it, which is nice. It does have the cream and the powder products. It does have a really nice bronzing product. I just feel it's maybe a little bit too orange for me, so I don't wear it as often as I could, but I do love this product. I also bought the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette. This was something that was, you know, groundbreaking for Natasha Denona. She was putting out a 15 pan eyeshadow palette like she normally does, only this one was only $65 because the pans were smaller, which I think is the perfect size for Natasha Denona, honestly. Her regular palettes, the pans in those palettes are almost twice the size of a ColourPop shadow. So there's really not a necessity to have an eyeshadow pan that big, especially since eyeshadow, it expires. So her doing this smaller sized $65 palette was a really better option. And I hope that I think she's put out one other palette at that size since then, and I hope that she continues to do it because it's a beautiful palette. I loved using it, and it was only $65. Just normal pan sizes. Then I also purchased the Viart Soleil palette. This is a $30 palette with 8 shades in it, and that seems odd because it's more than half the price of, or a little less than half the price of the Sunset palette. The pans in this guy are so small though. Do I think it was worth $30? Maybe. Viart is also one of those companies that has pretty great formula for their shadows. I haven't used this palette, so I can't tell you whether I think it was worth it or not. The fact that it's been in my collection for almost a year and I haven't used it speaks volumes to me. Like, I really need to slow the F down. I just have a palette addiction. Like, it's a super pretty, super cute palette that I need to use. My next purchase, so I went all of July without a purchase and then almost all of August without a purchase. My next purchase with Sephora was August 28th. Was around my birthday time. I believe I was in store for half of what I spent in August and online for the other half of what I spent in August. So the half that I purchased online was the Natasha Denona Sunset palette. This is a $129 palette that was on sale in that moment for I think $99, so I decided to pick it up. It is a Natasha Denona palette that I had wanted since it first came out. I even purchased the ColourPop version of it because I wanted it so bad, but was not going to spend the $129 on it, and didn't spend the $129 on it. I spent $99 on it. I own it. It's not my favorite palette. Was this an awesome purchase? Probably not. Was it worth $99? I can't say that it was. Am I happy to have it? Yeah, because I'm a completionist and stupid and just buy palettes just to buy palettes, but I would say it's better than a lot of the reviews that are out there, but it's not like her best work. I bought another Cinema Secrets, which was $42. And then I bought the Dominique Causemetics Berries and Cream palette. You guys, I think we went through this. I think we talked about the Berries and Cream palette when I did my reliving my hauls from last year. It was something that I had on my list for quite some time. Loved it. Haven't used it. Still haven't used it even since I filmed that video. I haven't used it. It's not a palette that's seen any use. Do I love it? Was it worth it? It was a $44 palette. It's got, I think, 12 shades in it. It is beautiful. It is stunning. It is a palette that I've wanted. I think I would still want it if I hadn't purchased it because it had been on my wish list for quite some time. So was it worth it? Yes, but there's probably a person or two or 50 out there that would tell you it wasn't because I haven't used it yet. At that time, I also got the Drunk Elephant birthday set, which was little teeny tiny samples of Drunk Elephant products. I haven't used those products. They are in my sample drawers for my sample series. On the 31st of August, I did go into a store, and it was super close to my birthday, and we were out doing things for my birthday. It was a weekend, and I went in and I purchased the Fenty bronzer that I have that is a Sunstalker bronzer. The Fenty bronzer, which is a decent bronzer. I do like it. I just don't use it as much as I should. I also got a new Fenty Kilowatt highlighter, the duos, and I think I maybe have used that once. I do have an awful lot of highlighters. Again, it's hard for me to rotate through. The bronzer was $30. The highlight was $36. Maybe I shouldn't have bought them. I love the bronzer. The bronzer is beautiful. I know that I will love the highlighter as well because I have a Fenty Kilowatt highlighter that is probably the only highlight in my collection that's almost panned. She's just got a phenomenal line. In that same purchase, I purchased a Fenty Gloss Bomb. I think I purchased Fussy, which was $19. It's my favorite, one of my favorite glosses. I keep it in my purse. I also purchased the Fresh Coconut Lip Balm, and I think my daughter has used this more than I have, but it is a good lip balm. It's super hydrating. I really do love it. And it smells so good. It smells just like coconuts. It tastes just like coconuts. My last purchases for 2019 at Sephora were on the 29th of September, so almost a full month later. And that was the two Norvina palettes that came out back to back, volumes 2 and volumes 3, the ones that I couldn't, or I didn't think I could purchase at Sephora, or purchase at Ulta. So I did purchase the two Norvina palettes. In this purchase, I did have a $50 gift card that I used from my Points purchases, and I ended up getting these two palettes for $70. I got the first palette at Ulta with points, so I ended up paying $70 for all three of those palettes. I was super stoked, but I am super stoked about these palettes. I love those Norvina palettes. They're like my pride and joy. Those are my Sephora purchases for 2019. How I earned Rouge in 2019, and this is apparently where this ends because this is 2020 and I have barely, I might hit VIB this year, but I hope that you guys enjoyed these videos. Thank you so much for watching my video. Thank you for coming and supporting my channel today. I hope that you liked this video enough that you're considering giving it a big thumbs up. It really does help our channels out here. I also hope that you liked it or me enough that you're considering subscribing to my channel. I would love to have you here. If you do that, please hit that notification bell. I do upload 3 to 4 videos a week, depending on the week. So it's going to be super helpful for you if you hit that notification bell so you're notified when I upload so you don't miss a thing. Also, all this stuff is free. It doesn't cost you any money. And I wouldn't want you to miss a darn thing. I don't like missing a darn thing for the people I watch. So there's that. I hope that you guys are having a good May. Can you believe it's almost June? By the time you see this, I think June will be like 2 days away, maybe 4 days away. Thank you so much for being the people to me that you are. I hope that everything is going well for you guys, and I hope that you are had a wonderful May and are excited for an awesome June. Thanks again for watching, guys, and until next time, bye guys.